Hey friends, Neo here. This week on Learn to Play we're going to be looking at the Jade Druid. In this video I'm going to be talking about the strategy, the combos, the mulligans, and then we're going to play a few example games just so you guys can see the deck in action. Let's begin by talking about the deck strategy. So the strategy you want to be using against aggro decks and slower decks is very similar. The basic premise of the strategy is that you want to be ramping up your mana and your golems as quickly as possible. The difference being against aggro decks you want to be holding on to cards like the Primordial Drake and the Behemoth so you get some taunt minions on the field. Also Wrath you want to be holding on to in the mulligan, basically so you can take out some early game aggression minions. Whereas against slower decks, you want to be really greedy. You basically just want to go for all your ramp cards, get your golems as big as possible, as fast as possible. Obviously at the same time growing your mana as fast as possible as well so you can play some of the other bigger minions too. Here is my version of the Jade Druid deck. It's pretty stock standard. I mean, most of the Jade Druids are pretty similar. There's not too many cards that swap around. Usually the main cards people swap around is, they might be running 2 Tar Creepers instead of the Gluttonous Ooze. They might run Harrison Jones instead of the Ooze, but I particularly think that you should be running Ooze or Harrison Jones to have some form of weapon removal because a lot of decks are running weapons. And I find that Ooze is particularly good against the Pirate Warrior because it will kill their weapon and give you some extra armor, which is really useful against those aggro games. Now let's go and take a look at some of the combos in the deck. The first combo I'd like to talk about is the Fendrel combos. So essentially what Fendrel does is when you have a choose one effect card, you get both the effects instead of actually having to choose, which is really awesome. So in this deck we have the Jade Idol, so instead of choosing summon a Jade Golem or shuffle 3 copies in the deck, obviously you get both. Wrath, you'll deal 4 damage and draw a card. Feral Rage, you'll gain 4 attack and 8 armor. And Nourish is really valuable with this card because you'll gain 2 mana crystals and draw 3 cards. The Auctioneer is another really important card in this deck. Whenever you cast a spell, you draw a card. So this can be comboed really well with cards like Innovate because obviously that'll give you 2 more mana, draw your card, and then hopefully you have enough mana to play that card, and that might be a spell and you draw another card. It also works well with Wrath, for example, because essentially that's a pretty cheap spell and you can pick the draw a card option and then you end up drawing 2 cards from it, which is really good. But the combo that works really well for the Auctioneer is essentially at the end of the game when you're running out of cards and all you'll probably have left are Jade Idols. You can use this to just cycle through the Jade Idols like crazy, and every turn you can start pushing stronger and stronger golems onto the field. The final combo I want to talk about is all the cards that summon Jade Golems. So as I've already mentioned a couple of times, the Jade Idol is quite important, particularly later in the game, because you can just end up with unlimited Jade cards when your opponent runs out of cards and you can just overwhelm them, which is really good. Then we have the Jade Blossom. So essentially you want to play this as early as you can in the game to get the value out of it really quickly. Hopefully you're actually able to play this on turn 1 if you use an Innovate. With the Jade Spirit, which is another pretty solid card to summon a Jade Golem. I mean, it's a 2/3 itself, it's okay. But basically, obviously, you want it just for the Jade Golem summoning. Then we have the Jade Behemoth. This is a really good card. Really good against aggro decks because it's a taunt minion and it summons you a Jade Golem. 6 health is not a bad taunt minion to slow down against aggro decks. And of course, like all other Jade decks, we have Eye of Blackpaw. So this is a really good legendary. Battlecry and Death Rattle summon a Jade Golem, so it's really good at building up your Jades pretty quickly. I mean, but usually by the time you play, Jades are probably going to be, 4+ already, so they're going to be pretty big. Now I'd like to talk about the mulligans for this deck. Here are the mulligans you want to be getting against aggro decks. Innovate's really good, gets you an extra 2 mana crystals, so hopefully you can play something like Jade Blossom on turn 1 if you're really lucky. Wild Growth is really good because that's more mana crystal growth. Essentially this deck is all about ramping up your mana crystals and the size of your Jade Golems as quickly as possible. Now the Wrath card is probably the tech choice I guess against aggro decks. It can be quite good at taking out an early game minion. If you can kill a 1 health minion and draw a card from it, it's pretty good. Otherwise it can be good at taking out some of those larger health early game minions for 3 damage. These are the mulligans you want to be going for against slower style decks. Just like the mulligans for aggro decks, we've got Innovate, Wild Growth, Jade Blossom to ramp your mana crystals up. But we also have Nourish and the Gadgets and Auctioneer. So these are really good cards, and the earlier you can play these, the better. Obviously, when you play the Auctioneer, you want to make sure you have at least one spell to cast so you get some value out of it. But basically, Nourish and the Auctioneer, you don't want to hold on to unless you've already got some ramp cards. So if you haven't got Innovate, Wild Growth, Jade Blossom, I'd probably drop these to try and pick those up because you need those other cards for the early game. So I think I've theory-crafted more than enough about this deck now. I think at this point I should go and play some example games so you guys can see the deck in action. Alright, we are playing as Priest.
My beloved Tyrande.
Okay, good, we got the Innovate Jade Blossom, and we'll drop the Idol. I mean, it seems kind of silly because it's a 1 mana cost Jade, but we want to play it later. I mean, essentially, if we play it, we're just going to be shuffling into the deck, which is useless at the start. Okay, that's somewhat annoying because I was going to play Jade Blossom. What I might do instead though is I might actually play Wild Growth then. And then we can potentially pump out a Behemoth early. Yeah, that Cleric is annoying because it's going to give them card draw, but we have no choice. Yeah. We could innovate here, but it's not that great. I mean, we'd just be losing 1 mana, so I'm actually gonna ooze, because if he hits it with his Cleric, it's gonna die, unless he obviously buffs it, which he might do, which is an okay risk. Kazakus, okay. So essentially next turn we can either play Aya, the Behemoth, or the Auctioneer. If we play the Auctioneer, we can play Innovate, we'll get a card draw. I don't know if we're going to get enough cards out of it for it to be worth it. Probably worth playing the Behemoth. It's pretty annoying. Wait until we get at least another spell in our hand that we can use with Auctioneer to guarantee we're just not innovating and getting card draw and nothing else of value. Wow. Okay. Nice. Okay. Question: is it going to be quest or is it going to be aggro? Eye is too big. Is having 2 Jade Blossoms too greedy? I'm scared I drop one and get something completely useless, whereas the Jade Blossom is useful. I've got coin, so I can play one on turn 2 if I don't, assuming I don't get Innovate. Oh, that's amazing. I can play Jade Blossom on turn 1 and turn 2. Oh, okay, that's really good. Yep, so next turn I can coin into another Jade Blossom, and then I'll be 2 mana crystals ahead. That's crazy. Actually, I don't need to coin, do I? What am I talking about? I can save my coin for later. That's awesome. That's pretty much an ideal start against the Quest Warrior, I must say. So next turn we can auctioneer. We probably want to wrath that minion and get rid of it. Yeah, because next turn we can auctioneer coin, shuffle Jade Idol. Yeah. For now we can just keep the pressure on. Keep his armor away. Make it more difficult for him to shield slam, if he's running that, of course. Yeah, the fact that we've overtaken his mana is really good, seeing as he went first. It'd be really awesome if I draw an Innovate right now.
What now?
Just thinking about this a lot.
Let the pain
Okay.
speak to me.
Oh my god. That's what we want.
The best deals anywhere.
Oh, we're not going to be able to get to Nourish, that's no good. Unless we get another Innovate. Obviously we can't because we use one. Let's shuffle that. This is a tough call. I think we do it for the card draw. Yeah. That was a good choice. Do we want to play a Jade or do we want to shuffle it in again? I think we do another shuffle.
Time waits for no one. Job done.
Okay, so that auction is probably going to die anyway, but that was a lot of card cycles, so that's good. If he doesn't kill the auctioneer, he's in a bit of trouble. Wow. Now we can nourish. That's too good. Now, do we want to nourish? Because then that is turn over. We don't want to swipe. If we swipe, gets extra card draw. Yeah, we can nourish hero power. Auctioneer into the Dirty Rat. Having said that, no, I think I want Jade Idol. And then Feral Rage, definitely.
Time waits for no one. For the wild. Nothing but
Clear out some of that stuff. We have a lot of armor right now, it's pretty good. Feeling pretty confident at this point. He's still got a fair way to go on his quest, and he's got an Auctioneer and a Fendrel to deal with. That was a really bad Dirty Rat for him to draw the Fendrel and then not be able to kill it. I thought he was... I mean, if he Dirty Rat and then... I mean, he wouldn't have the mana, but if he Dirty Rat and then Brawl, could have been pretty good for him, but... That was a very risky play, considering he didn't have anything to deal with it. Got rid of the Auctioneer, but we still have Fendrel. What do I want to do here? Jade Behemoth, Feral Rage.
For the wilds.
That is a nice amount of armor. A bit scared he's gonna brawl now. But I guess even if he does, it's not the end of the world. I mean, with 2 swipes... Oh, another auctioneer. Brilliant. So make sure we're not gonna... How much damage have we got? 10, 18... Oh, a lot of damage. So we lose that into that, so we're down to 15. So we need to find another 12. Not there yet. We're not far away.
The best deals anywhere.
Another 2 cards. This is absurd.
Time waits for no one.
This Fenrir has just destroyed him, basically. This is just silly now. And this is, I mean, realistically optimal scenario for the Jade Druid. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. He finally killed my Fenrir. Oh, one of the pretty big Jades lived though.
Let the pain speak to me.
Is that gonna be GG with double sets 8? Yeah. Don't even need to double it anyway. Hero power, whatever. Nice. So yeah, not really. It was a good game for the Jade deck. Okay, Paladin.
I will fight with honor. I must protect.
Getting good at drawing that Innovate Jade Blossom. It's really good. Oh, another Innovate. Ooh. We can Innovate Nourish next turn. That's interesting. I think though that we need to consider holding on to that. I mean, yes, I could have given myself 2 extra mana crystals then, but then that Tide Call would have been buffed next turn probably,
Reporting for duty.
which is no good. I guess the question is, do we want to play Wrath? Do we want to Hero Power? I really want to play that Jade Blossom, but it doesn't really line up very well. I mean, I'd have to essentially Innovate, which then still is wasted mana crystals. We either Wrath or Hero Power, basically. And I think we're better off saving Wrath for later. In case we need to deal 3 damage to, it's like Murloc War Leader or something.
Reporting for duty.
That could be a bit of a problem, so I think we don't have a choice other than to play the Behemoth. Yeah, I want to use that Nourish for card draw soon, hopefully. I'm kind of hoping we can get a Auctioneer, Fendrel even. Okay. Let's think about this. We Auctioneer, we Innovate. We still have 4 mana left. We can Wrath, probably. Yeah, okay. That sounds like the way to go. Actually, I'm gonna Wrath first. That could be handy. Do I want to innovate? I don't know actually. I don't have anything specifically to play. Yeah, I don't know. Very good. Luckily for me, they weren't that great. Swipe. Yeah, okay, so we can... swipe and see what card we draw. And we can innovate here because we actually have some stuff we can play. The question is, do we want to play the Jade Idol or do we want to play Wild Growth?
Time waits for no one.
Play the Growth next turn and get 2 cards. That was clutch. Damn. If I get one more turn with that Auctioneer, he's in trouble. Okay, good call. I'm glad I played that Jade, actually. Something on the board. And that Ooze is going to be good, I think. I feel like he's going to have something to... Yep. I think we just have to Wrath that. Probably a good time to play Ire as well. Nice. I'm really happy with how those games went. Pretty good to see the Priest and that Paladin concede so early into the game. Really shows kind of how strong the Jade Druid can be and how quickly it can get to large Jade minions too. That game against the Quest Warrior was really good. Ended up with some pretty strong minions and really kept control of the board in all the games, I should say. And I think that's what really won it for us. Just a few more things about the deck quickly before I end the video. The deck's pretty strong, particularly it's really good against slower decks because it has time to ramp those minions up. Like if you're playing in some of the mage decks and they're holding out till turn 10, by that point you have some pretty big Jades and they'll be in a lot of trouble. Where it falters is against some of the aggro decks. It struggles quite a lot against the Quest Rogue, for example. It's slightly unfavored against the current Paladin decks that are being played, like the Merlot Paladin, mid-range Paladin deck. But in general, it's quite a solid deck. As you saw those games there, like pretty much the whole time I was in control, and that's what it's all about. That concludes my Jade Druid deck guide. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please drop me a like, subscribe. That'd be really awesome. Check out some of the other videos on my channel. I'm releasing deck guides every week. I'm releasing some other ranked game video every week as well. Once again, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, farewell.